I know you can't really.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, I'm not even wearing that outfit.
Or it could be delayed too, maybe.
I've closed mine out and restarted over like 10 times.
Like straight up.
There it is. Okay. Cool. Anyways, sorry the stream wasn't showing for a minute, but since we're on this subject, I'm going to go ahead and kind of pass it over to Aaron if you want to just give a quick rundown of what happened tonight and what the issue was, and just do your best.
No, I mean, the truth is we really don't know. You know, the problem with the videos in the past has always been having enough bandwidth to push out an HD signal, or even sometimes a signal at all. And, you know, so that was where we purchased the Live View unit to be able to stream the video using the cellular networks. And it was quite an expensive unit. And part of which made the Live View unit more appealing than some of the other brands that make a similar model was the fact that they have better software, they're a little more tested and have been around longer. And the software, what it does, it's supposed to, you know, it kind of breaks the video down into segments, sends it out, and then reconstructs it on the other end back at Joe's location. And what I think was happening is somewhere along the line, it was not getting reconstructed properly, or, you know, getting broken down improperly. So because the entire time, you know, the bandwidth was there. The unit said, you know, it gave us the amount of bandwidth that was, you know, in the past has worked pretty well.
Yeah.
But when the video would come through, it would come through all pixelated or, you know, all gobbledygook basically.
Yeah.
So it just really seemed like it was going and then just not reconstructing itself properly.
Right.
So I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully, you know, they'll be able to give us some answers and maybe, you know, work on the software on their end, and we can get it back to, you know, where we hoped it was going to be, where we thought it was, and where it should be.
Yeah, and do you think it was because of kind of the high number of people on their cell phones in the arena as well? Could that have been a factor?
It definitely contributed to it, I think, but I don't know if that was it, because we still had enough bandwidth to work with. So where, you know, in the past when we used some of the live units, the older models, that, you know, once you hit a certain limit, there was just no bandwidth left to be had. This unit, it streams at, you know, a much lower data rate where you can produce a better video from far less bandwidth, and we had plenty of bandwidth to work with. So,
well, for those of you who aren't very techie like I am, pretty much what everything Aaron that just said is nothing that we were doing on our end. I mean, Joe has invested into the best equipment there is out there, other than a satellite truck, which is, I mean, that's just so much money. Like, they're 6 figures, and Joe dropped a lot of money, like thousands of dollars, on this Live View unit. And it was something on their end, something like, you know, Aaron was saying, the coding somewhere in there was getting all jumbled up and coming out weird. And so I know Joe's going to be on the phone with Live View talking to them about it or getting that straightened out. I don't know. Someone was asking in the chat if we were going to get a refund, like, you know, from Live View from all that. But I don't know. That's down the road, but we're not going to give up. Joe has assured that we're going to keep doing rallies. We are going to Fargo next week. Not sure if the whole crew's going. We don't know yet. That's kind of up in the air. But we are going to keep going to the rallies. We're going to keep doing this. And, you know, Joe said RSBN always ends up on top. We keep doing the right thing. We're not going to steal streams. We're going to, you know, keep doing what we do, what has gotten us this far. And so I think, you know, our integrity will obviously always come out on top. And I don't know. I just really want to say thank you to everyone for supporting us. You know, even when it was very pixelated and you could only hear, there were still thousands of you watching and sending encouraging messages, and that means a lot to us. That makes us want to keep doing this, and of course, thank you for everyone who donated. That helps a lot too, but just wanted to say thank you, and we're going to continue to do our best and to bring you these streams, and we are going to Fargo next week.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, when President Trump comes out, everybody's using their cell phone. I mean, the signals get jammed up. And when we're in a smaller city, smaller to medium market city like Duluth, like Fargo for the next rally, you know, it's a little more difficult because, they don't have as many cell towers. And I'm not the most technical guy in the world, but it's just when we're in a bigger city like Nashville, it was perfect. You know, there's more towers, there's just more availability for the cell phone, the bandwidth. There's more availability, and the stream comes out better. We have all the right equipment. We just maybe need to just tweak some things, or come up with a little bit smarter or better strategy so that things will go smoothly. So right now we are brainstorming, we're learning, and we're getting better and better. It's just it takes time, and it's just some hurdles. I always like to say, I live one day at a time. We take one event at a time, and we know that our loyal supporters and our loyal viewers, they know that there's ups and downs. They're there with us when rallies go great, when the stream is great, when the video is great, and then they're with us too when we have difficult and challenging times. But we are a family, and it's just great to see the love and support. It really means a lot that you're still with us and that you are not giving up and you're loyal. And President Trump always steals the show. I mean, it's unbelievable. Mm-hmm. The roar of the crowd at this rally. I mean, you could you could hear it, number one, and you could feel it. They just, it's just with the adversity, everything that's going on the fake news, and it's so obvious. You get up every morning, and I almost, I want to see something decent, in the morning news, and I can only watch 10 minutes max, and then I'm out the door, or I'm just like, forget it. I'll just, not watch anything. But, thank God for RSBN. Thank God for, people that just, want to tell the whole story. And the people at the rallies, they show up, and, they love it. And, I've said this before, if President Trump needs to keep doing these rallies, I mean, why not? People come and then they go home and they tell their family and friends all about it, and it's very effective. It helps candidates down the ticket, and we're going to see, especially in Minnesota, there's a lot of open seats for governor and congressional. Both U.S. Senate seats are up for re-election, and both the Democratic side and Republican side, they both have challengers. They both have challengers in the primary, which is coming up in August. So we're going to see come November in the general election, who comes out in the primary, and if Republicans can win. And if Republicans, local Republicans statewide in Minnesota can win with President Trump's help, that is huge. That says a lot for 2020.
Definitely, and it was really awesome tonight. We got to meet Thomas Schroeder, longtime fan in the chat room. Liz, I know you guys are chatting right now. Tell us what that was like to meet Thomas.
Well, it's really cool, and I don't know, I guess just because he's always been there for me he was there before I joined Right Side. Mm-hmm. So he helped me start my show from the beginning, and he was always giving me advice. And for some reason, I just thought he was like in his 50s or 60s, I guess, because, he's so mature online. And then to meet him kind of makes me think I need to get my life together.
Well, Tom was also there with his dad, Alan. So also, got to chat with them a little bit. They were great. And Thomas Schroeder, he lives in Superior, Wisconsin, which is, right. We're right on the border of Minnesota and Wisconsin, so it's right across the border, right here locally in the Duluth area. But he goes to college where I'm from, on the border of Ohio, Pennsylvania, Grove City College in Pennsylvania, real close to where Aaron and I are from, Youngstown, Ohio. So it's just a great coincidence, and it was great to see him. And loyal supporter, always great to see you in the chat, Thomas. I know you're there right now. And you're there fighting with us, and you're one of those loyal supporters who, we're sick of the fake news. We're sick of the very fake news, and we have to go somewhere. And why not RSBN? I mean, we're building this, and we're not giving up. We're going to keep going to the rallies. We're not giving up, and we're going to get better and better every time.
Absolutely. My favorite thing about the rally today, I think, one, it was the biggest rally that I've seen. I don't know, were we at capacity? I know the venue held 9,000 people. Did we hit capacity? Does anyone know?
Well, the capacity is like 9,200, and they hit 9,000. So there were a trickle of empty seats. The place was packed to the rafters, but there were some here and there where, let's say, the five of us, and there's six there's 6 in a row, but the
Right.
5 of us sit in a row. So there were some little,
Yeah.
1 or 2 seats here and there that were, open, but everybody got in, which is great. It seemed like everybody got in, because, people waited, the lines were weaving through the parking deck across the street, and people were waiting inside the deck. We interviewed all kinds of people. What a day. It was just, every rally, every setting is different, every town is different, but, we have a beautiful country, we really do. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's just so exciting to see what's next. And we know the next rally's in Fargo, but down the road, where are the next rallies gonna be? It's just such a great thing, and every rally and every moment is a gift.
Yeah, for sure.
I agree.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No.
You got it, girl.
Okay, mine's short. Something cool I noticed today was just the amount of kids, and not
That's
just
what I was
kids.
gonna say.
Yeah, this time we get a lot of kids, and they're cute and adorable. But then you put them on air, and they don't really have anything to do, which is fine. That's how I was as a kid. But like these kids today, they knew what they were talking about.
Oh,
It was amazing.
Yeah,
Right, Tara?
that's what I was gonna say. How many kids there were today, and they're just so precious. And they're just like, I love President Trump. Like, why do you love him? And they're like, because he's doing great things. It's like their parents are teaching them at a young age, and I think that's great because they're gonna grow up, and obviously they're the next generation, and they're growing up well.
Well, my 15-year-old loves him because of his no tolerance on border patrol. I was like, all right. Okay.
Wow. Yeah, I had these 3 sweet girls I interviewed from Upper Michigan and Wisconsin, and they were, really educated about the issues. They all had pink Make America Great Again hats on, and they said they just really like President Trump because he, says what he thinks, and he doesn't back down, and he's just really strong in his morals and values. So it was so much fun interviewing them, and just such a diverse group of people, but it was really nice getting to know people from this area too. Everyone was really warm and sweet to us.
They were very nice. They were. On that note, I can barely keep my eyes open, so I'm going to say goodnight to y'all. Love you guys.
Okay.
Text
Good night,
Jill that I was
Liz.
out.
Good night.
Okay, good night.
Love you,
Great
Jill.
working with you again.
See y'all in the morning.
See you in the morning.
Thank you everyone for tuning in today. If you need me, you can reach me on Twitter at _Liz WIllis. I'll probably be reading those tomorrow, and I know me and the girls are going to have a lot of free time on our hands. So if you need anything you want to get off your chest, let us know tomorrow. Questions or concerns, and we loved having you guys with us today. So, sweet dreams.
Good night, Liz.
Love
Night,
y'all. Love y'all.
And then there were 4.
I'll be watching until I fall asleep.
Okay.
Isn't this the coolest couch, though? I just love it. I want to take it with me.
This house is very retro, like 70s, if y'all can't see. And there's like really cool stuff behind us. I don't know, very different Airbnb.
Yeah. I saw someone comment the protester episode was funny. Light switch, that's funny you mentioned that. So there were some groups of protesters outside, and we actually tweeted a picture of those as well. But then on the intercom, they were telling everyone, if you see a protester, chant Trump, 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 and hold up your signs. And so that did happen once with this. One gentleman was escorted out, and it was really funny because President Trump said, see, one person's leaving, and the media is going to say it was, hundreds. So, that was really interesting. But, Tom, what were some of the things, your favorite things that he touched on today?
I also took some notes, too. And, I mentioned, first of all, before I forget, I want to say thank you to a couple more people. We met Bob Anderson. He is a candidate for U.S. Senate here in Minnesota. He spent the night. In the parking deck, waiting to get in the front of the line. This guy, he's all about grassroots politics, reaching out to the people. We talked to him several times, waiting. While we were in line, while he was in line. We were showing the lines, and he was so busy just talking to people and. we finally caught up to him at the rally. Was that at the end of the rally?
Yeah, it was kind of
Right after-
middle-ish.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. And we finally caught up to him, and we're finally able to get an interview with him. But what a class act! And he,
So much energy, just so
Yeah.
exciting. Just being near him gave me more energy. And he's not your traditional politician. He was actually is like a dental technician and has
Right.
his own business. So that was really interesting.
yeah, very hard worker, just like President Trump was saying. You know, the deplorables. They're smart. They're hardworking. I mean, it's so unbelievable. You know how condescending the very fake news is. I keep talking about them, but I just it's so true. And you know, a couple other people that we met. I want to give a special shout out to Roy Carlson. Roy Carlson is from St. Paul, Minnesota, right near Minneapolis. He helped us get interviews. So he went out into the crowd and brought back some interviews. His name is Roy Carlson. He is a business owner in St. Paul, owns a towing business, and so I'm going to reach out to him again and thank him personally. He gave me his phone number, and I really appreciate that. You know, we couldn't leave the press pen, before when we got there, before the rally began. So, and during the rally, we had to stay in the media area. So it was hard to reach out, and sometimes we would wave people over, or they would just walk by, or they would recognize us, that we're with RSBN. So I want to thank everybody that gave us an interview or even talked to us or even said hello. I even met somebody on the streets of Duluth, walking when we were setting up the camera, and he recognized me on the street and thanked us, thanked RSBN, and it was great to see, all the encouragement and the people, they know that we're working hard and we're showing the rallies and showing the crowds and interviewing people, so they know what we're doing, and it's definitely working. It's a great thing, and just so honored to be a part of it. Another person I want to thank really quick is one of the congressional candidates, Pete Stauber. We got to interview his wife, Jody Stauber, and she is a Air Force Reserve veteran. Served in Iraq. Her husband, Pete Stauber, is running for Congress in the 8th Congressional District right here in Duluth. And he was the captain of a Lake Superior College hockey team. And he also played for the Detroit Red Wings, professional hockey, NHL. And he was also a police officer. He graduated with a degree in criminal justice and was a police officer here in the Duluth, in this area, for 22 years. Retired now. He is running for U.S. Congress. And they had the whole family there, and a beautiful family. And this guy's tough as nails, and he is the one that made this happen. Pete Stauber invited President Trump to come and speak and made this happen, and we're really thankful for him and his family. And it was an honor to interview Jody, and what a great moment and a great rally it was. All the candidates, a lot of candidates showed up down the ticket. And anybody else I missed here? And lastly, I want to thank the Blackwoods Grill and Bar. We went there for dinner after the rally. I'll tell you what, I worked in the restaurant business. I had one suggestion when we left, and my suggestion was don't change a thing. This place was perfect. It was such a beautiful restaurant, wood. It was like, eating in it was kind of like going to a ski resort cabin. It was just so beautifully laid out. Blackwoods Bar and Grill, you can look it up online. The food was outstanding.
And it's right on the water. You can see the water just across the street.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So beautiful.
Yeah, it was
the
great.
RSBN viewers love talking about food.
Yeah.
But I was impressed. I was very impressed.
It was very nice, yes. And so on a not as delicious topic, just some notes I took, things President Trump said that you guys, might have heard before. I wrote down some fun quotes and, some facts. He said we're going to keep winning, winning, winning. And that since he became president, there were 300 3.5, sorry guys, I'm tired, million new jobs. He talked about North Korea and how we got back the hostages. And a lot of people I interviewed really did want to hear him talk about meeting Chairman Kim Jong-un. And so it was really good that he did touch on that. And interesting fact, apparently as of today, unemployment among women has reached the lowest levels as of today in 65 years, which is really, really cool. And then he talked about fighting to protect American iron, aluminum, steel, and brave miners, which is, really fitting for today in Duluth, because he met earlier with miners, just to protect their craft. And one of the quotes I liked after he talked about how he signed the executive order to keep families together, he said, "We're going to keep families together, but the border will be just as tough as it's been." So.
Yeah, and just to add a little bit to the mining, President Trump lifted restrictions at Superior National Forest, and that helped open things up for the miners there. He talked about that too. He covered every issue. It was just unbelievable. At the end, he said, "There's no place like our place, and we will never fail." I mean, he just, he knows exactly, what people, what the desires of the American people are, America first. And he is just kind of like, President Trump he really is a great listener. He listens to the people. Promises made, promises kept. It's, I hate to wear out the term, but Reagan-esque. Ronald Reagan in the 80s was the great communicator. And Ronald Reagan used to do like live stream, whatever you call it, in the 80s, where he would sit there at the Oval Office and just talk to the people. Now, the mainstream media wouldn't do that anymore. President Trump is traditional. They do like a Friday afternoon or Friday afternoon address to the nation, and it's, they broadcast, they'll show snippets of it or anything. But back in the day, the president could go on the air on national TV and go on the air in the middle of the day, interrupt, daytime TV, or come on prime time at night. And it was kind of like when Justice Gorsuch was sworn in, that evening broadcast where they had the famous handshake. President Trump greeted, Neil Gorsuch and shook his hand, introduced him as his nominee to be the Supreme Court Justice. It was a Reagan-esque moment, and we need more of those. And President Trump, he brings that out in the rallies. That's why I think that's the only place he could do it. He needs to do more of these rallies. And RSBN, we want to show these moments to you. We want to show them to you live. We want to, do the best video we can. We're working really hard, to perfect this. And like I said, Nashville, was a great stream. That was a great rally. And we know that you're not giving up on us. We're going to keep working hard and learning as we go every rally, and we're not going to stop, figuring this out. And like Aaron, during the rally, he's the hardest working guy. He's just, setting up the camera and always fixing things, and he's adjusting things and making things better. So we're all working together and doing our part, and it's all going to come together. We're not giving up.
Absolutely. And I'm going to change pace here for a second. I just want to know what your favorite interview was of the night and why. So, Alyssa, I'll start with you.
Ooh, good question. Oh, let me think. That is hard. I think just towards the end, I had two sisters. What were their names? Lisa and...
With the hats?
Yes, with the hats. I can't remember the second one's name. I said it a million times. But it starts with a J. But they were just so sweet. And I would say that was definitely my favorite interview because, I got time talking to them before I interviewed them. And sometimes that's the most fun when it's just off camera. And you're really just getting to know them. And, this wasn't their first rally. They had been to the inauguration as well. And they had these really fun patriotic hats on with pins all over them. Oh, sorry, I'm in the middle of a yarn. But they were just so fun. Really thankful to interview them, and they asked where I was from, and I told them I moved around a lot, and they thought I had a little bit of a southern accent, which I don't hear, but I guess,
What?
yeah, I guess they heard that being here in Minnesota, but yeah, I would say that was definitely my favorite. What about you, Tom?
Well, I got to interview a young guy, Cameron, 13 years old, and I'm telling you that I wasn't sure what to ask him. I didn't want to ask him too hard of a question, but he was ready. He was ready. He knew the issues, and his whole family was there, and they were just thrilled that he was being interviewed, and he definitely had a good time. It was really great to meet him. And I asked him a question about, what do you like most about President Trump? And he says, he's going to be great for his future. It's all about the future. For a young person, they're thinking about, the American dream is alive and well in their mind. And, I remember being a young guy, I couldn't wait to grow up. I just, now I don't want to grow up. So, it's just, I don't know. It's, President Trump embodies the American dream. I mean, the people, and he gave credit to the people. He gave credit to the people that elected him with the negotiations with Chairman Kim, North Korea. He gave credit to the people, because if it wasn't for the people electing him, that he wouldn't have been able to, Chairman Kim obviously likes President Trump and reached out, and it was 50-50. He had to meet somewhere. They met in Singapore, and they're in negotiations as we speak, and it's a critical thing, and denuclearization, if we can get to that 20% point, that's great, where they are already destroying, a lot of their nuclear, sites, and we're also having, remains of soldiers from the Korean War come back. I think President Trump mentioned about 200 soldiers have already come back, their remains, and what an honor for it is for that to happen, and for the families. Our hearts go out to you, and this is all part of the winning. I know this isn't something that, it's still in the process, and we're still praying about it, everybody, and we hope everything goes well, and we pray for peace. But it's just part of the winning. It's just unbelievable. God is blessing our country, and we are very grateful.
Yeah, and it looks like Light Switch said that they really liked your interview with the two bikers. Tell us about that. I remember that one.
Oh, wow. They were incredible guys. I mean, they were the guardian angels, and they talked about, going to different events and protecting President Trump, and that just gave me goosebumps. The Bikers for Trump. I mean, I've heard, we've all seen the videos, and we've seen the stories, we've heard things, but when you meet them face to face, I mean, these guys, I felt like a little man next to these two these bikers. I mean, it was great to interview them. What an honor. I mean, I'm just so grateful that they were willing to do it. And, Bob and Kevin, those were the two guys I interviewed, and they were great. And, I hope to see them again at other events. And, they have been at other rallies. So the Bikers for Trump definitely showed up. The Women for Trump showed up. And the kids for Trump showed up. Everybody showed up. So the weather was great. Cooperated. It was inspiring.
Yeah, you're so good at remembering names.
Wait
And
just a second.
it looks like Aaron is
Should we wake him?
out. Hey.
Oh.
Got some comments. People were worried about you. Asking if you were
Hey, the guy
okay.
worked hard. Give him a break. Give him a break. The guy worked really
He
hard.
worked hard.
He makes us look good. I mean, you can.
Yeah.
Do you need a pillow?
I might.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man.
Oh. Yeah, well, we
I
won't do this
apologize.
too much longer because we are all dragging.
As you know, we usually keep our post streams kind of short because it is late. We've had a long day. That was funny.
I don't know why I had to wake me up.
Sorry.
Aaron has worked very, very, very hard today, so he deserves to go to sleep. So Aaron, if you want to bail out, you can go to bed. We got it.
No, I got you. We're good. I'm okay.
We had a great meal. I mean, when you have a really good meal, it makes you tired. I mean, that's all, but I'm still on adrenaline from this rally. The rallies just I'm all psyched up.
Good. You have dragon energy, like they say. And it looks like we got 2 donations, $5 from Steve, where we go one, we go all. Thank you so much. And $2 from Phoenix Rise. RSBN always shows the crowds inside and outside. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We really appreciate that.
Yeah, so we're not going to stay on too much longer. We did want to come on tonight and give you a rundown of kind of what happened and announce that we are still going to Fargo despite everything. We're going to keep powering through. We want to talk a little bit about our interviews and that we had fun today and that it was honestly a huge crowd, the biggest I've ever seen. And so if you have any last comments or anything, send them in the chat. We'll stay on for a couple more minutes and then we're going to wrap things up so we can all get some sleep. I know we all got flights tomorrow to catch.
Well, President Trump, he also, a big applause line was the Space Force. Talking about the Space Force, it was just like, the people were they loved it and they were chanting Space Force, Space Force. It was great. It was just, reaching to new heights, so to speak, and it was just really exciting. And then President Trump also talked about, we really need to get 60 Republicans in the United States Senate. We need to, get more Republicans elected in the Senate and get to that 60 mark where we have 60 senators. So very critical. These elections in the off years, this election year 2018, so to reach 60 senators, that's a big goal. But hopefully, with prayers we could do it because it's just there's a lot of the Democrats are obstructionists. That there's just so much that needs to be done, and there's so many people that aren't open-minded to reaching across the aisle. Politics has changed. It's it's just different. But maybe with prayers and then the love at these rallies, people will notice more and more, and that maybe blue states will become battleground states. It's just kind of like you're chopping a tree. You just got to keep chopping. You don't give up. And
Write a poem about that one, Tom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just, we did get another donation from Diego Lou Samstown. Said, great job, much love. Thank you so much. I know you donated last night too, so thank you for supporting us. And I do want to touch on something some people are saying. People are trying to go back and watch the rally and things we did. It was taken down for, honestly, that's a whole different story. But as soon as Joe gets the camera back tomorrow night or early Friday morning, we really don't land in Atlanta until almost midnight tomorrow night. We fly out very late tomorrow afternoon, and so then she's still got to drive it to Auburn. So it'll be well after midnight before Joe gets the actual camera. But I'm sure by Friday morning he will have the full HD quality video uploaded onto YouTube again. So tell your friends and family, and if you're interviewed tonight, you can go back then and watch it. And obviously we're working to make sure this doesn't happen again in Fargo. And one of the ways that we're going to do that is, I don't want to get technical here because this is Aaron's expertise, but when you go to a venue, they offer a hard wire Ethernet cable, basically. At least some of them do. And if we get that and we can plug it into the live view and the camera or wherever it goes, that means that we will for sure have good connection and we don't have to completely rely on the live view. And so if it messes up, we still have internet. At least is how I think that works, right? Okay. I'm trying to learn all this technical stuff. So we tried to call this venue on Monday, and we didn't leave out to Tuesday, so that was kind of last minute, so we couldn't get the cord in time, and it's kind of hard to get all that set up. But that is my job for tomorrow. It's Thursday. We don't leave for the next rally until next Tuesday, so we have several days to figure it out. So that's another way we're improving, and we're going to try to make this better for you guys. But anyway, sum that up. Tomorrow the video will be uploaded in HD quality. Or not tomorrow, Friday morning.
Yes, and it looks like we just got 3 more donations, actually. 508, same unique number as last night. From P. Cell, he said, thanks RSBN crew, safe travels home. Thank you so much.
Thank you, P-Cell.
$25 from Shannon Joyce. Thank you so much for that. And let's see. $5 from another source with not the best name. So I'm not going to read that out loud, but still, we still appreciate your attention and your donation. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sharon. Thank you for your donation.
Well, guys, any last comments? Anything you want to say? Anything?
Good night.
It was just such a blast meeting the people here tonight, hearing everyone's story, and what a blessing to be able to see the beautiful city of Duluth on Lake Superior. Just such a blessing. There's no other reason or way that I would have come up here. So I'm really thankful for it.
Yeah, it's a beautiful city. Like I said, the one word I used was inspiring. A lot of history here. President Trump talked about the history of the people of Minnesota, you know, hardworking, grit. He used the word grit and faith. Mm-hmm. And we met a lot of those people at the rally today. It was just, it was unbelievable meeting all the great people of Minnesota and Wisconsin and surrounding states. Of course, the front row Joes, they're there at every rally, wherever the rallies go, and that's pretty inspiring too, that they travel and they're dedicated. You know, it's just unbelievable. The books are going to be written about this presidency, many, many books, when this is all done.
They already are being written.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
They already are. Yeah.
Well, guys, I guess we're gonna wrap it up. I know Aaron wants to get to bed. So do I. But thank you so much, everyone, for another fantastic rally, for, you know, being so supportive, and for the donations. And I mean, we're going to Fargo, so yay!
Hey.
And in exactly a week, we'll be in Fargo doing another rally. So mark your calendars. It's going to be exciting. Anything y'all want to say before we close it out? Anything?
Just thank you for your love and
Well,
Great
support.
working with you.
Thank you so much, everyone, and we will see you again soon. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.